Welcome everyone to the SERL American Ethanol Series Season 2, Race 21 at Morgan Woods. Once again, another new venue to the SERL in general, and this is a 3.14 mile road course that has a pretty interesting layout that I will show you in just a second. But before I tell you about that, I gotta say, I just realized this just before I started recording this race, and one cool thing that I realized is that we're actually kind of on this pretty cool, interesting 6 race stretch, because the thing is, several weeks ago we were at the 1 mile, we were at the Milwaukee Mile, then we went to Chatham, we went to Nashville, I believe, then we went to Gen Valley, then to Piggs Creek, and now Morgan Woods. 6 totally different racetracks, and I believe we have seen a total of 6 different winners. And could we see a 7th different winner? We'll just have to find out. But anyway, now let's show you the layout. So this layout, compared to some other road courses like Gen Valley, this is a kind of a more complex layout, and I think it actually has some pretty interesting corners. So, um, like I said, 3.14 miles, which I think is actually slightly bigger than Gen Valley, which I think was 2.113 miles. Um, so obviously I think many racing fans are familiar with like esses and hairpins, but then we have this interesting corner right here that makes up turns 5 and 6 the sweeter, and basically it's just this big long corner, and it's probably like fast and high speed that then leads into a series of sharp smaller corners, and because of that, I think it's going to make it a trouble spot. So these drivers better be careful for turn 7, 8, 9, 10. But overall, I just think I think like Gen Valley and like many of the other courses, there's just a lot of uncertainness, and we don't and I don't really know what's going to happen until we wave the green flag. But I think one thing that we do know is that road courses, they're difficult to pass, so qualifying up front does pay off. And when we look at the front row, we got some drivers that mostly have been actually one of them has actually no, both of them have been good. Torin Deeter and Cameron Garlington, 8th and 10th in points, but have yet to win a race this season. They've actually been improving the past several weeks, I believe. But anyway, the 3 drivers that I want to mention are 3 drivers in the championship picture. One of them is Dale Scott. Now, Dale Scott had a very rough day, getting involved in the first crash, which was a big one, taking him out of the race. He finished in the 39th position, which I think is his worst finish this season. Another driver that got caught in that was Andrew Gorman. Now, Andrew Gorman, oh wow, I didn't realize that he stood behind him. Andrew Gorman also got collected in that big crash, but he was able to continue. But he was a slower car and also had a pretty poor finish on what could have been a good day to capitalize when Dale Scott was in the garage. Dean Orton was the biggest winner. Now, he was not really someone who could have contend for the win, but I think he finished around 10th place, and now he's back, and now he is pretty much back up in the fight for the championship. Just 9 points behind Dale Scott. Andrew Gorman is 16 points behind Dale Scott. But to me, these 3 have a pretty big margin over the rest of the field, which the next closest drivers are Biff Crafton, Blaine Keyes, Matt Hotchkiss, and so on. But to me, I feel like that. With only just a small handful of races left to go, and with that big of a margin, I think our champion is one of the 3 drivers that I just mentioned. And now, for the first ever time at Morgan Woods, let's get the cars rolling off. As the pace car just pulls away, here is the starting lineup. So, Torin Deeter, Cameron Garlington, the front row, Riley Smith, William Bedford, Nick Smith, Ellen Napala, Bronic Hedgehog, Kendall Maynor, Ben Braley, Daniel Boyle. That is your top 10. Andrew Gorman and Dale Scott, 35th and 37th. Dean Orton starts, I think. Well, where does he start? I couldn't see just in time, sorry. But anyway, coming out of the final corner, turn number 10, I believe, we are green at Morgan Woods for the first ever time. Now, pretty much every time we race, we can expect an early caution. And whoa. I guess they are 3-wire here. Better watch out. Don't get into that gravel. And I think this road course does definitely have a lot of elevation change. There is Dean Orton. He restarted mid-pack 24th. and just like a Gen Valley, we're gonna see, just like a Gen Valley, we see drivers using the high side, the low side, even going on the apron, trying to find whatever they can. This is a new venue. Your best time to experiment is right now, and right now, Torin Deeter leads. He uses the carbine. Riley Smith in the 0-1, he won the season opener race, but really it's been kind of struggling ever since then. 13 points. Cameron Gallatin in the 25. I mentioned about how he's 10 points. Right behind him is William Bedford, a driver that I feel like I've not talked about a whole lot this season, and B just struggling. Nick Smith, the road course ringer of the season, but he also had a very good run last week at Pigs Creek. Almost won that race, and I think the caution's out. Yep, it's out. Blaine Keyes in the 20. And it looks like it was possibly just him. And to me, I don't see a whole lot of damage on anyone else. I don't remember where Blaine Keyes started, so let's take a look and see what. Entering the second corner, I believe, Blaine Keyes all by himself, and once he gets off of this corner here, he's gonna strangely get sideways, get out the corner here, but Philip Goldberg, he also gained a lot of speed exiting the corner, and look at this, Andrew Gorman, that happened just in front of him. I cannot tell if he got any damage, and just to make sure, we're going to take an onward count of him, as Blaine Keyes hits the outside wall with the left right and left rear, but to me, I don't think that his day is going to be over, and now, I just said it. Let's go on board Andrew Gorman. Slow motion. How close can he get from hitting our car? On board Andrew Gorman. And you'll see right here, just before, as Blaine Keyes goes sideways, he actually gets around the brakes right about here. And oh my goodness, it's really hard to tell if he did make contact and not. If he did make contact, it was just a. It was like as light as like a feather. That's what it was. And while it did cost him a couple of positions, it's still better than finishing dead last. So this could have saved Andrew Gorman's championship, but he still has a long way to go if he's going to have a great day in the points. Here is the running order. So when I look at the three drivers in the picture, Andrew Gorman slid back. Dale Scott gained a couple of positions, and Dean Orton I think also moved up. No, actually he actually lost a bit of ground. So it looks like after that start, Dale Scott, our points leader entering the weekend, is one of our biggest movers. And meanwhile, up front, Torin Deeter still leads. But let's see here. Is he going to be able to hold on, or are we going to see Riley Smith, Cameron Gallatin, or anyone else be able to challenge him? And now, as the pace car is going to take the dive in just a moment into the pits, and actually let me take this time to actually look at a couple other drivers. So I mentioned let's see, who could we look at? Another driver that's also been making some gains. Oh, wait a second, actually I forgot, the pace car actually slows up right there and the field scrambles. But anyway, as one way gets here. Oh yeah, this pace car, it's holding up a lot of field. I actually did not know this was going to happen. So wow, the field just got really separated. Sorry. Oh, there we go. There's the driver that I wanted to bring up. Bronic Hedgehog in the raid. He has yet to win. He has come close on a couple of occasions, but he's also done a very nice job at improving the last several weeks. He's now up to 9th in points, and I felt like that he deserves a little bit of a shout out. Right behind him is Ian Saunders, who I still feel very, very, very bad for. He dominated that race at Nashville, only to get wrecked on the final lap while leading. Riley Smith and Cameron Gallatin still trail Torin Deeter, who has now opened up a bit of a lead over the rest of the field. A couple of cars behind them, we have Kendall Maynor in the 70, a driver that I forget. It has been a struggling season, and I think that if he and a couple of our drivers were mathematically eliminated from the championship after last week's race at Pigs Creek, and one of the reasons why more eliminations have been happening in this series compared to the year compared to the other two series, and that is just because Dale Scott, Dean Orton, and Andrew Gorman, they have gained so many points that it just makes it harder for someone else to catch up, as opposed to the Hot Wheels Cup series and Domino's Pizza Truck series, which currently in those two series, the race is pretty close. But and to me, what drivers could be in danger? I kind of don't remember. I think that William Bedford is possibly, I think that he's in danger. I think Nick Smith is possibly also in danger, as well. But good finishes, uh, but good runs, like those two are having, are gonna help them a lot. Oh, and the caution's out. We have no wreck. Tony Valerio. And it looks like the Mayfield Goldberg and Charles Billing also got some damage. Dale Scott looks like he got out of that alive. Ooh, General Smith Jr. Was some heavy damage. So it looks like at this wreck happened in the middle of the field, and Torin Deeter continues to lead. But let's take a look and see what happened. This was entering the hairpin, I believe, and Tony Valerio and Abe Troxell, they just took together, battling for 16th spot. And Tony Valerio here, he just can't save the car, carrying too much speed, goes into the tire barriers and actually goes upside down. But this, I don't believe, brought the caution. Never mind, I did. So what happened to Jonas Maps Jr.? It was actually a separate incident. Or wait a second, he already had some damage from something else. So let's take a look and see what might have caused that. This will not only show the flip that Tony Valerio took from an interesting angle. This view also shows the hairpin and some of the challenges, from sort of blind corners entering the hairpin to some elevation changes, and just overall kind of a risky place, which I think makes this one of the trouble spots. Abe Troxell and the others also did a good job over here. Also did a good job getting through that hairpin, because that could have ended badly, and another big wreck. But anyway, now let's take you back to the green flag. For those that want to know what happened to Jonas Maps Jr., well, apparently under caution before the the caution before the caution that I brought out, that was because of Tony Valerio. Jonas Maps Jr. ran into the back of Hurley Haywood, and that's why that caution came out. But anyway, coming out of turn number 10, we are now going to have our second restart of the day. Okay, for a second, I thought we were gonna have a problem here, because someone is off the pace, or someone off the pace. No, but doesn't here. But here we go. Battle for the lead. Riley Smith trying to take the lead away from Torin Deeter. I don't think Torin Deeter got that great of a restart that time. But Riley Smith, he is still on the bumper. And Cameron Gallatin, he's also there as well. So chances are, I have a feeling that these drivers are starting to get a little more aggressive. Here comes Riley Smith trying to make another run out of it. Well, he had the advantage entering or exiting the sweeter, which is this corner. Now we get into some of the technical corners here, as well. My guess behind them, Evan DePaula, Nick Smith here. Wow, that really held up the field. As well, my guess, William Bedford and Kendall Minor make contact, but another caution is out. What's it for? John Martin, maybe. Andrew Gorman, I gotta say, he hasn't really been going almost anywhere, but so has Dale Scott. I think he's actually dropped back a little bit, and same for D Orton. So overall, just not the best day for any one of our three drivers in the championship hunt entering the weekend. But let's take a look and see what brought out our third caution of the day. I believe this is entering the hairpin. So the corner just before the hairpin, I think that this is the corner that really bunches up the field, which allowed Charles Belling to catch up to John Martin. And then Charles Belling, he tries to go underneath John Martin, and maybe he got up on the curbing, which caused him to go right back up into John Martin, and then John Martin goes around. And so that is what brought out our third caution of the day. And now let's take you back to the green flag. Still no DNF since the Tony Valerio flip. And when I look at the running order, Andrew Gorman third place in points in the 37th position. Dale Scott currently in the 28th position, and Dean Orden he's in the 25th position. So the way things are right now, if this race were to end right now, we would be looking at Dean Orden just slowly chipping more away from Dale Scott's points lead. But we'll just have to see. I think that this restart could be a very important restart. And anyway, as the pace car once again gets in the way, as Wilma gets past, that really cost him. I cost him a lot of ground and maybe the chance of the win. Yeah, I don't really understand what's up with the pace car. As Bill Crafton takes an evasive action, it'll help Andrew Gorman gain a couple of positions. As Wilma, I guess here, Dean Oren, wow, that really hurt him. What happened to him? He restarted. He restarted in the 25th spot, so the pace car really costly here. As we have another caution. What happened to Ben Braley in the 40? So another caution came out, and it's probably because of the pesky pace car. But anyway, now our new second place man is Cameron Garlington. So unless the pace car decides to mess up the field again, but when we get back going, he could be Torin Deeter's biggest threat. Nick Smith gained a couple of positions along with Evan DePaula. Evan DePaula, I gotta say, I believe that he is possibly already mathematically eliminated from this championship. I don't know yet, but I gotta say, this driver has really he's shown a lot of improvement in the second half of the season. And let's just take a look and see what happened to the 40 of Ben Braley, who looks like that his day will be done. I still think that the pace car just getting in the way and holding up the field and sort of bunching up certain parts of the field led to this right here. So what happened was that Lisa Gonzalez, she got a really good run entering the S's, and the S's, if you make contact in the S's, it's going to go badly for at least one driver, and that's what happened. But Lisa Gonzalez kind of flat out dumped him at the same time. Ben Braley goes into the guardrail, does a complete flip, and then comes to slide all the way down into the grass, and that's what happens. No one else hits him, but for Ben Braley, what could have been a good day, what could have been a nice solid day. He's already had. This is actually the second time this weekend where he was having a solid day and then got taken out late in the race. It happened to him in the Truck Series race at Lucas Oil Raceway Park last night. You might want to close your eyes for this one. Very quick updates. So the pace car will go down to pit road, so it won't be in the way. Ben Braley will be out of the race, I believe. As the rest of the field tries to catch up. Yeah, there we go. He's marked out. Torin Deeter leads us back to the green flag. And actually, there was actually a reason why Dean Warren was back there. It wasn't because of the pace car. It was because he made an unscheduled pit stop during the caution before the caution that I brought out. That was because of Ben Braley. So whatever it was, it really did not help him at all. And now Cameron Garlington, who got a really good run entering the first couple corners, lost a little ground in the S's. And let's see, he might as well go, because I mean, if we have a caution right now, and look at this, another unscheduled pit stop for Dean Orton. So whatever it is, I don't know if it's a tire problem, but it's something. and looks like that's just gonna be a really rough day. It might have been because maybe under caution a couple of these drivers made contact. I mean you see Philip Goldberg's hood, it's completely off the car. Did we just have an error here? Whoa, my goodness, we are four. We 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 were, I think we were almost five wide for a moment. And right in the middle of this, we have both Dale Scott and Andrew Gorman. We might want to watch this. Yeah, the spectator camera is not particularly that great. But anyway, Dale Scott, I don't know if he gained any ground, but oh, the caution is out. The caution is out. The race is over. The race will end under caution, and I believe our winner will be, yes, it'll be Torin Deeter. He will get his first career victory unless something really serious happens to him. So, what caused this caution? Well, I saw a puff of smoke, so maybe someone just went for a simple spin. Once again, a driver just outside the top 10, and a driver that could have had a solid day got taken out by another driver. But this one was probably a more strange one right here that I don't think Aiden Saunders is going to be happy about. So entering this corner, Aiden Saunders, yes, he does get out of the gas right here for a second, but it was almost like Justin Thomas just had no brakes here, and then Aiden Saunders actually does he get into the tire barriers? Actually, no, he actually did. He actually did a great job of staying out of it, and that's why right here, this field was 5 wide, but Aiden Saunders did a nice job at not coming back up across the racetrack because that could have taken out more drivers. So here is how the race will end. So Ben Braley, Tony Valerio, the only 2 drivers to DNF, and as far as drivers having points, Dean Orton, I don't know what was wrong with his car, but it really cost him for what was a day that started out basically before he had to make pit stops. He actually could have gained a couple of positions or just points on Dale Scott, but now the way things are, I think that it has once again returned to Dale Scott. He's gonna have a pretty big points lead over yeah, I think he's gonna have a pretty big points lead, and now it's gonna be, I think, more of a battle for second between Andrew Gorman and Dean Orton. Who Andrew Gorman, he also did not have a great day, but to me that's the price you pay for qualifying. But 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 those drivers should be thankful that Dale Scott also had a poor qualifying position and he couldn't really gain up a whole lot of ground as well. But anyway, our top 10: Torin Deeter, Cameron Gauntlett, William Bedford, Evan Napala, Nick Smith, Bronic Hedgehog, Riley Smith, Kendall Minor, Connor Brandon, Daniel Voiles. Torin Deeter gets his first career victory of the season, and now he has wins in both of the series that he's in. I think that he's won a race in the Hot Wheels Cup series, and now he has a win in this series. While it might be a little too late for him to win this championship, I think that this season is going to be looked back on as a good season for Torin Deeter, and he could say the same thing about Cameron Gauntlett, who with his second place finish, he's probably also going to move up. He's probably also going to move up a couple of positions in the points, and maybe, who knows, Bronic Hedgehog. And so that is Morgan Woods. I think that the race, it was once again a road course. It's just simply hard to pass a road course, which is why we don't see a whole lot of that side by side racing. And so I felt like that for a road course, it was a solid race. But anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye. Congrats to Torin Deeter on your first career victory in this series this season.